This is a time for Rick and Welcome show lecture. And it's been a while since I've actually mentioned Usher, but of course Usher has been selected to do the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And of course, we always know the halftime show is filled with occult symbolism. It's so obvious to see. And of course, if they pick you to do the halftime show, the odds are that you've made what they call a human sacrifice at some point in time. Now, I've covered Usher. You can see Usher constantly holding up the 666 sign. Of course, what do people think he's actually doing? Is he MAGA? Oh, right, that's 666. I mean, is he making three-pointers? Because that's what I've always heard of. No, he's a devil worshiper. They all are. That's the only reason they become famous. You can see him doing the 666 many times. You can also see Usher doing all-seeing eye symbolism, symbols like holding up the heart. And again, the heart is a symbol you see celebrities do all of the time. The heart symbol actually goes back to, bagel origins, the symbol of the heart. And the reason you see celebrities constantly do that isn't because they're wonderful people. It's because they're ushering in the Antichrist. The Antichrist will be coming in the name of love. This love movement, this tolerance movement is about accepting sin, accepting all of these disgusting things that they are trying to normalize, of course, in the name of love. And the Antichrist will also be coming in the name of love. And many Christians will be deceived. You see a lot of Christians who copy their false idols like Usher, and they copy their symbols. How many people do the peace sign and photographs that they take? How many people now can hold up the 666 sign, don't even know what they're doing? And of course, we see people all the time holding up the heart symbol. So when I say human sacrifice, it's usually done because it is. It's usually done before or after the person is announced to be a part of something big like the Super Bowl, or if they're going to win an Oscar or a Grammy or they get a big role, right? All these celebrities are linked to young or mysterious types of deaths. And Usher is no different now, being rolled in out of nowhere. Because remember, Usher hasn't been talked about. And even when Usher was somewhat big, he was never really big. But to get the Super Bowl, you have to be pretty big, pretty relevant, you gotta be one of them. So for Usher to come back into the spotlight, it's very clear that Usher was clearly involved in some type of satanic offering. Now, if you look at Usher, you see that Aaron Spears, who was Usher's drummer, who's also the drummer for people like Lady Barfbag, Ariana Grande, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus. I've covered each one of those people many times over, being connected to Satanism and the occult. In fact, most of them actually admit to it. Miley Cyrus doesn't hide it, right? Walking around wearing satanic shoes, talking about even being a monarch butterfly herself. Lady Barfbag openly admits to worshiping the devil. Many times I've shown you the clips of her saying, praise Satan, hail Satan, right? Ariana Grande is another one who says God is a woman mocking our Father in heaven. Britney Spears is, of course, somebody under extreme MK Ultra mind control, who's one of them as well. So Aaron Spears, the drummer, is connected to all these people mysteriously, just dies on Halloween, during Halloween, right? Halloween, of course, is ritual season. October 30th, well, that's ritual season for you. And it looks like Aaron Spears was likely an offering because there's not really much information on his death. But if you look at Aaron Spears and his Instagram account, you can see one of the logos he uses. You know, people see that, they're like, that's Star Trek. Well, that's Vulcan, first of all. That symbol, of course, and then you see on the sides, they're really making a pentagram behind him. So clearly he was one of the sacrificial offerings. And if you actually look into Usher, and you see Usher's connected to people like Michelle Lamy, okay, and Converse, her husband, Rick Owens. These people, I mean, do they look like regular people? Is this regular person? I mean, it looks like that's Usher with Lamy. And then, of course, if you look at her, I mean, or him, whatever you want to call it, there it is. It's just rubbing, black goo all over its face. But you know what I mean? It's normal. Don't you guys do that in your spare time when, your mom or dad come over or you're at a family party? Don't you say, hold on, let me just start rubbing black goo on my face? Or, do you go out to pick up things at the grocery store looking like demonic ghouls like these people do? This Rick Owens and his wife Michelle Lamy. Now, I'm not just saying it because they look like Satanists. I'm saying it because they literally are Satanists. And if you look at some of the things they rolled out with Converse, like this demon possession, pentagram inversion that they rolled out with Converse. Obviously, Converse has a lot of tie-ins with satanic shoes, etc. Little nonsense. This is all Rick Owens, who's a good friend of Usher. You can see them hanging out together. I mean, that was a photograph of them hanging out somewhere together, right? So, if your tree is known by its fruits, right? But we already know Usher is one of them. But he plays the cookie cutter role. So people out there think that Usher might be somebody clean and safe. They have a lot of these guys they try to roll out where they try to make it seem like, oh, they're not satanic. Like, you have people who are satanic out in the open, and then you have people like Usher where people actually don't even know. They're just like, oh, okay, they just pick Usher. He's kind of, he's not really that relevant. No, he's a Satanist. He's even rap or whatever his music is. I don't know if it's rap or what the genre is, pop. But one of the songs I covered was Chains, which was pushing gun control and the racial agenda. And again, this is the provocateurs here. These are the agents of the government who are brainwashing the masses into the race agenda. This is all communist propaganda that they're pushing for control over our lives. Even rap writing conspiracy, new world order. Right? And then, of course, mentioning some of these false flag actors who were involved in some of these fake CIA operation shootings that never really occurred. And of course, as Usher is about to perform at the Super Bowl, well, of course, they roll Usher out and make Usher trend, even though, if you look closely, Usher was trending on YouTube this week with his new video, Ruin, okay? And he's got 300,000 views in a day, which is pretty bad for these people. Now, back in the day, I used to get 300,000 views myself, not being promoted. So for someone who is promoted, like Usher, who is going to be put in the trending section because they're trying to gain momentum behind Usher, it's pretty pathetic that he can only garner 300,000 views, but they're pushing Usher out. And of course, if you just look at the video that's trending, some people think it's innocent, and it's not true, it's not a big deal. You see right in the video itself, you see the black and white Masonic checkerboard behind Usher as he's dancing in the kitchen. Everyone thinks it's just innocent fun, it's just Usher, right? You can see this ritual where they throw smoke up in the air. If you look into witchcraft practices and stuff, there are rituals that they do with this, with all sorts with alchemy and smoke and powder. This is obviously people are going to see this thing like, well, it's like LeBron James throwing the smoke in there. So it's a witchcraft ritual. Okay, LeBron James is one of them as well. I've covered him many times over. They're like, no, he's throwing chalk up in the air. Yeah, because we all throw chalk up in the air. Like, but everybody thinks that everything is just all fun and games. They don't realize that these people are practitioners in the occult. So throughout the video of Usher, we just see symbolism like that. We see black and white Masonic checkerboards. We see blatant all-seeing eye symbolism in the background. And as the video goes on, and it's just like kind of the same themes we see the red and white checkerboard on one of the characters in the song. And of course, the red and white checkerboard, in addition to the black and white checkerboard, the red usually means ritual sacrifice. That's what the red tile symbolizes, ritual sacrifice. You might notice that you see on pizza boxes a lot, like the basic common theme. That doesn't mean everybody has a pizzeria is involved, of course not. But pizza, they love to, they've associated with the red and white checkerboard with pizza, which is also a code word for something else, which you can't talk about here on this platform. So you can see the red and white, which of course makes you believe that Usher was involved somehow in the sacrifice of his drummer. He spoke at the funeral, put on a dramatic performance of crying, probably feeling guilty for what he was involved in because blood is on his hands and on all these people's hands. Because the only reason, and the only way you become famous is sacrifice. Now, in the past, I've covered in a lot of videos the connection between almost every single celebrity to some mysterious type of deaths that surround them. Kanye West, Bruno Mars, Jennifer Hudson, right? Massacres, family massacres. This is always the ritual offering. Then suddenly these people on the outside become famous. Now, a lot of them are bred into fame, which people out there don't realize. But if other people get in from the outside, obviously have to make massive sacrifice along the way. And if they ever, of course, betray them, these people are already cloned, and there's multiple versions of them. And people out there think that that's crazy. I've covered it a million times, where we all know cloning is actually real. And we've seen some of the some of the failed cloning attempts, even Kanye West or people like Jamie Foxx, etc. But Usher is another one where people believe that he possibly is a clone as well. It doesn't really look the same as he used to. Now it looks like another version of him may have been rolled out. However, I'm fully sure that Usher, no matter whether it's a clone or not, is going to put on one heck of a satanic performance at the Super Bowl for all the people out there. And again, Usher plays the role of cookie cutter, right? So people out there, they're going to say, Usher isn't one of them. Look at Usher. He's smiling. He looks like a little baby. He's a great guy. That's the role that people like Usher play. They need guys like Usher because it's so out of the realm of possibility how they're presented to us that someone like Usher could be committing human sacrifice or be in the occult. But it's always around us, right? Usher's always throwing up the 666 sign. Can you explain what it means? Did Usher just grab a basketball and make a three-pointer? Of course not. Is Usher a conservative? Well, of course not. He's not doing MAGA because you're not allowed to be a celebrity and be openly a Republican because it's part of the psyop psyop that they're doing, where they're gaslighting conservatives against Hollywood, etc. So Usher's obviously not doing that. So he loves doing stuff like that, holding his hand over his eyes. And again, guilt by association is just another thing, right? Like if you ever caught me out with Michelle Lamy and Rick Owens, you could come up to me and you could punt me in the balls, okay? These people always associate with one another. Whether someone like Usher is cookie cutter clean, they see them with these devils, like, oh, well, they're fashion designers, so, you know, it's, no, they're witches and Satanists. And so are these celebrities. That's why they're all connected to each other. None of them got there by being talented. They all got there because they're in the same club. And guess what? You ain't in it. I thank everybody for being here on A Time for Reckoning. Hope you're all well. God bless you and your families as always. This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show. We ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda and as we continue to attack these false idols and expose them for who they really are. One by one, they will fall. Today's show will talk about another false idol, another blatantly obvious worshiper of Satan, and that is Nicki Minaj. We can start with the blatantly obvious symbols that we see with her doing the devil horns in a lot of her photos. The peace sign, which we know what that stands for, which is Lucifer. The all-seeing eye, the hand over the left eye. Okay, you'll see her dressed in the black and the white colors, which we talk about as duality. You'll see that in all the music videos. Of course, you'll see Nicki Minaj in some of her music videos in the bathtub, because everybody's just into baths, as we've been talking about. All of these music videos, all of these artists rebaptizing themselves, okay, for Satan, rebaptizing themselves in Satanism. You'll see that in some of her videos as well, so it's another coincidence that they're doing all of these same signs and all of these videos, but we're the ones who are crazy. No, they're trolling us, that's right. They're just trolling Christians, doing these same satanic symbols in all their videos and songs. Okay, something to be really alarmed about with Nicki Minaj, and which should be a red flag to wake people up if they haven't already woken up and seen that she's satanic and under demonic possession, is the fact that in interviews on Ellen, in interviews on George Lopez's show, in interviews that she's done all over the world, she's openly admitted that she has alters, that she has other personalities, one of which is Roman. That's her angry personality, it's a spirit that she summoned, because like we talked about with black magic, they summon demonic entities, they allow these entities to come into their body, which puts them under demonic possession. Beyonce talks about hers. Is it a coincidence that these people have alter egos? I mean, it's like listening to a child, a 4-year-old child talk, and people listen to it and they don't say, whoa, something is wrong here. Nicki Minaj is talking about an alter named Roman. Then she talks about Martha, another alter personality that she has. Martha is Roman's mother, a crazy woman from London, she says on the Ellen show. Shouldn't people be concerned here? We have grown adults, people who are making millions and millions of dollars, pushed in the media and in the limelight as false role models for children, talking about how, well, in my song, you know, I'm not Nicki Minaj, I'm Roman in this song. And people are going, oh, that's so artistic and fascinating. She's just unleashing a different side of her. Hello, are we that stupid of a society that this is okay? This isn't a mental disorder. You can't tell that these people are under demonic possession. Even if you don't want to believe in demonic possession, if you don't want to believe in Satanism when you're listening to this, is that normal for a grown woman like Beyonce or Nicki Minaj to be talking about Sasha Fierce or Roman when they're referring to themselves in a video? They say, Beyonce will say, that's not me, that's Sasha. And Nicki will say, Roman's on this track. This one's Roman now, it's not me. Huh? People are talking about it like it's normal, it's passé. Oh, that's cool, Nicki's being Roman. Very interesting. This is alarming that this isn't a red flag for people to wake up, or that we're allowing our children to listen to these people talking about alter personalities. At the very least, if you don't want to believe in the Illuminati, in the occult, in Satanism, if you refuse to get to that level of believing, wouldn't this still be a red flag for a mental disorder? Should these people be in the limelight if they're doing this? But it is, in fact, demonic possession that she is referring to. These musicians, these actors, they go under demonic possession. It is a part of being in the satanic occult. They summon demons. We know in the scriptures that people were under demonic possession and Jesus was giving exorcisms. Okay, we know this is real, but people still kind of want to refuse it to be real because they can't wake up, even though they're telling us that this is what's going on. Another thing you'll see linked to Nicki Minaj is something that's linked to all of these musicians, all of these actors and actresses, and that's death. These artists, these musicians have to make a blood sacrifice. It is a part of getting this fame, this spotlight, this contract with the devil that they make. They have to make a blood sacrifice. So her cousin just happened to randomly die as she became famous and rich, just like Lady Gaga, her aunt, just like Kanye West's mother, just like Jennifer Hudson's family, just like Bruno Mars' mother. Boy, these people sure are surrounded by death. But nobody seems to see those sides. That's just a coincidence because nobody would believe that anybody would be doing blood sacrifices, even though it's been going on since the beginning of time. Even Christians who don't want to believe it's going on. There's so many Christians that refuse to believe that blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, child sacrifice actually occurs. And I wonder if they've ever read the Bible. I wonder if they read the Old Testament and saw how many people were doing this. And how many was sacrificing children to Moloch and Baal. No big deal though. Nobody seems to care. These are all coincidences. There's such a long list of celebrities that are linked to death right around the time they become famous or right after it or right before, but it's all very close. And death just surrounds all these celebrities because they're so unfortunate, right? No, wrong. Because blood sacrifice is a part of it. And giving up a family member is part of the blood sacrifice or a close friend. That's usually how it works in the occult, okay? Then we have Nicki Minaj at the Grammys dressed as the whore of Babylon. If that's not obvious enough. She's dressed as the whore of Babylon, walking in with the Pope, of course. And of course on Nicki Minaj's forehead, not literally. But in reality, is the name written Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Because that's who Nicki Minaj is representing here. She's dressed as the whore of Babylon, walking in with the Pope. Even though we know the Pope is a part of this. He's a part of the occult. He's part of Satanism, child sacrifice, human sacrifice. They all are. That's why you should only believe in Jesus Christ. He's the only truth. Don't let false idols like the Pope or Nicki Minaj lead you into the abyss. Again, it's a coincidence, right, that Nicki Minaj is dressed as the whore of Babylon. Just like it's a coincidence that she has altars that she refers to. Because it's normal. We all have altars, right? We all get up, we go out, you know what, today I think I'm going to be a different person. So if your name's Joe and you go to work and say, you know what, I've had enough of work today. I'm going to be Douglas today. And I'm going to have a little attitude. And then he walks around work and he says, hey, guys, just so you know, don't call me Joe today. Call me Douglas. I am Douglas today. I am using my altar. And people would just look and go, okay, Douglas, this is normal. Hello, is this normal? Would anyone in the real world talk like that or act like that? Why do they get a free pass? Because they're famous and they're celebrities, so we're supposed to assume they're a little kooky and crazy? She's under demonic possession. You can see it in her eyes. You can hear it in her lyrics. She's admitting it, that she has altars that she summons and brings forth. That's how blatantly obvious this has gotten, that we're ignoring these things. People can't even see this. They just hear that and they say, oh, that's Nicki being Nicki. She's just being kooky. All you can do is shake your head at people that hear this stuff, refuse to see the signs. You can pray for them, but also shake your head because they are blatantly rubbing this in our face. All of these musicians are. This is just another musician. Look at all these things. It's not one thing. It's not just her doing the devil horns. It's not just her covering her eye, doing the all-seeing eye. Right? It's not just this coincidence that they all have blood sacrifice right next to them. The whore of Babylon. Is that a coincidence? She's dressed as the whore of Babylon. She's not a Christian, obviously. Right? But the rest of the world thinks that Christianity is just this made-up thing written by some people, and everybody's just going down the atheist Satanism path. Meanwhile, all they're doing, all the celebrities / Illuminati are doing, is referencing the Bible, referencing the end times, referencing Revelation, referencing Jesus, the Antichrist, and the war that is coming. That's all they're doing is constantly referencing it. And the only ones that see it are the few of us who are awake. The rest of the people go, oh, the Bible? Nobody believes in the Bible. That was written by some guys. That's not real. Meanwhile, look at the celebrities. They're telling you what's going on. They're telling you what's going on in the war that's going on because they know that the only ones that are aware are the true Christians who are still awake and here, and them, and the war's between us. And everybody else is just lost in the middle. And all we can try to do is wake them up by pointing out these obvious signs because they are so blatantly obvious. No, it's normal to have an alter personality. Right, demonic possession isn't real, yet people just watch all of these horror movies about demonic possession. They watch all these shows about mediums. They watch all of these things talking about how it's real. The Bible refers to it as real. Yet it wouldn't, okay, even if it's real, Nicki Minaj wouldn't be doing it. She's just a musician. Give me a break. The signs couldn't be more obvious. We are in the end times. This is just another exposed artist doing the same things as everyone else, the same things as Rihanna, Beyonce, Jared Leto. Who else have we done? The Beatles. I'm just exposing every single one of them. Because maybe after you see about 500 of these exposés on these people, you'll say, wow, okay, 500's a lot. This can't be a coincidence, can it? But even at this point, if you don't believe and you follow this channel, how many more need to be done? The same signs. They're just doing these same signs that we don't know about. They're all just appearing on magazine covers, doing the all-seeing eye, the 666, the devil horns. Right? They're all linked to blood, death, blood sacrifice. They all have altars. We have Nicki Minaj dressing up as the whore of Babylon. If that's not obvious in itself, was she making a fashion statement? Of course not. What was she saying? Think about it. What was she saying? If she wasn't making a fashion statement, what was she saying? Oh, Christianity's a joke. Is that what the atheist thing she was saying? Wake up, everyone. We have to expose these people. This is just another video exposing another one of these satanic artists. I hope this has helped awaken you in some sense. I'm sure most of you are awake, or most of you have already seen the signs of someone like Nicki Minaj and how obvious it is, okay, that she's in the occult. All the same symbols that we talk about over and over in all her videos, all her albums. She's doing all the poses. That she has all these other things linked to her that everyone else has. We have to see the signs of the times. And these are the end times, folks. I pray for everyone out there. May God bless you all. Peace be with you. This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show. In this episode, we're going to be exposing Usher's new song, Chains. Yet again, another song, another video coming out, pumping the Illuminati agenda. This time it's not filled with as much satanic symbolism as it is filled with Illuminati agenda propaganda as they continue to push the race war, as they continue to push martial law. In plain sight in this video, they're showing African-American children as they're getting run down by the police. They don't show an actual white police officer. The agenda of this is mixed. Of course, it's mixed with race. They want the African-American people to feel like it is these white cops that are going after them. Again, my opinion, and what I'm saying isn't based on anything racial at all. I could care less what skin color you are. I only care about Jesus Christ, okay? If you're black, you're orange, you're purple. If you're a follower of Christ, you're a brother or sister to me. And that's all that matters. That's all that should matter. But they've created this race war. They've created it, okay? They've built it up through the music, through the media, pumping this stuff out. And what they're pumping now is the white police against the African-American citizens so that they rebel against the police, right? So they rebel against the cops so they can push in martial law and gun control. So again, they're pushing martial law, they're pushing the racial war, okay? Listen to some of the lyrics. Shooting, shooting, shooting. Man, them boys always shoot. Referring to the cops always shooting at the African-American civilians. Okay? So they're getting into people's minds. They're getting into the minds of the youth. The African-American youth are creating this race war. Getting people pumped up who listen to this music to rebel against the police. That's what they want. They want a rebellion against the police. They want a race war to keep us divided. And they want gun control. And they're getting all three. And these artists are pushing it. Okay, people are going to hear the song. They're going to say, it's great. It's a song standing up against this awful police brutality that's going on. These are false flag events. They create these things to get the agenda they want. Don't you understand? They create these events to get what they want. People think that the one world government is going to be like thrown down your throat. It's mind control. It's mind control. It's not going to be forced. It's not going to come to your door and hold a gun to your head. Maybe at the end when they want you to accept the beast if you refuse to. But you're going to be obedient to it because they trick you with all this imagery you see on the TV. The news is faker than a cartoon. I mean, there's nothing real on it. Every story you hear, stand back and say, what's the agenda behind this? What's the agenda? What are they trying to say? Every news story now is about police brutality, right? So what has the mindset gone from? Police have went from heroes on September 11th to 15 years later. Police are incompetent. Police are just attacking civilians. Police are racist. They're attacking African Americans. Why do you think they're saying that? Because they want to usher in a military state. People are going to be, okay, I mean, they're making the military people seem like complete heroes, even though there's tons of military brutality that goes on, the killing and raping of women. Oh, because they're not American and they're overseas, it doesn't matter. They are going out of their way to destroy the police, okay? They're slandering them everywhere that they can. There's a reason for it, okay? There's a reason. And then the artists push these songs out, and it makes the children and the youth rebel because they get pumped up behind this. They feel like they're talking about them specifically because this is about African Americans, so now the African American youth feel like they're under attack. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying this has nothing to do with race. But they're making you believe this because not because of they care if this really was going on, because they want martial law. And then listen to the lyrics. It just constantly talks about shooting, shooting, right? And getting revenge. I mean, half the song is curse words and rambling about shooting. But listen to this verse. Every street, every corner, conspiracy, New World Order. Oh, right. That's just another coincidence mentioning the New World Order or the Illuminati. Sure, to get your brain to think that that's just a joke, that it's just some cool concept. He says revolution is coming, okay? Referring to martial law. They're referring to the revolt against the police. That's what these Baltimore events are about. That's why they continue to pump this through the news. You have to remember when you listen to the news and you watch these shows that they have an agenda. It's not random, okay? It's not a random thing going on. It's always the same story. Right now, the story is martial law. The story is race, war, and gun control, okay? And Usher here is pushing that for them. That's what these guys do. You think did Usher have a problem? Is Usher oppressed? Are the police coming after Usher? This guy is living in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills or somewhere. I don't know where he's living, but this guy's a millionaire. I doubt that he has the same problems as the youth, the African-American youth, or the people he's representing or talking to. It doesn't have to be African-American. He'd still be referring to white youth who feel the same way, that they're oppressed against by the police. Okay? If Usher was writing about things going on in his everyday life, he wouldn't be talking about this stuff. Who knows what he'd be talking about? Probably satanic rituals if he was talking about what really was going on in his everyday life. But I get it. Someone's going to hear this and they're going to say, he's expressing himself to help a movement. This isn't helping a movement. This is helping towards martial law and a new world order. That's what it's helping towards. So if you're African-American and you're listening to this, this isn't helping you as an African-American. Okay? That's not what this song's about. They're getting African-Americans behind them in this song. Okay? They're getting the youth, white or black, behind them in this song to make them feel like they're oppressed and they need to revolt against the police who are so brutally going after everyone, as if the police are this rugged gang. See how quickly they could turn the image? A cop used to mean something, right? Even as long ago, which is September 11th, is 15 years ago, how heroic the police were. Now they're saying, look at all these cops, they're so incompetent. You think it's a coincidence? Or do you think there's an agenda behind it? Of course there's an agenda behind it. right? Race war, martial law, gun control, global enslavement. That's what it is. The only thing that matters is getting your soul right with Christ. Whether you're African American, you're Chinese, you're Indian, white, it doesn't matter. What matters is Jesus Christ. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. And if you really are a Christian and you have a problem with somebody else because of their color of their skin, maybe you're not really a Christian. Why do you even care about these things? You're not supposed to care about these things. Who cares? Who cares? They're distracting you from what's going on, and they're pushing their agenda, tricking your mind into believing these events are real, and this is a real problem when it's not. Because when they usher in martial law, the people are going to be accepting of it because of events like this and songs like this and videos like this to rebel against the police. It's not to rebel against the police to be cool because they want to sound hip. It's to rebel against the police for martial law. And when martial law comes, say goodbye to your guns, say goodbye to your freedoms, even though we don't really have any real freedoms, and say hello to the Antichrist because they all come in a package together. They're all gift bagged together. Again, take a look at the video. You can see the blatant message they're pushing. It is an Illuminati message, a message of race war, gun control, martial law. For the 10th time, I'll beat it into your head. That's what it is. It's not some random vision that Usher had in his basement. He didn't write this song. He signed his contract. He's a part of this cult. They tell him what to do. And then he goes off on a yacht somewhere for a year and comes back and does another one. Because all the sheep will run to Usher and say, Usher's back, he's got a new song. Ooh, let me sit in my cubicle and Google it. Or YouTube it. The agenda is real. Mind control is real. You have to understand mind control. Don't be naive. Okay? They are manipulating us, tricking us through images in the media, in the news, in music, to get what they want, which is the Tower of Babel recreated, which is a new world order, a one world government, and it's happening right before our eyes. So don't support garbage like this. Okay? I'm not saying that there's bad things that don't happen that aren't a part of the agenda. Of course, there's idiot racists out there. Okay? But don't let it lead you into wanting something like this, because that's what they're trying to do. Okay? If you're African American, I'm not saying that there's not racists. Of course, there's scumbag racists out there. But they're doing this to get you to think that this is going on so that you are supportive of martial law, that you lead this revolt. Don't fall for it. Read the scriptures. Listen to the message of God. Listen to the message of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening. We ask those of you who haven't subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're so appreciative of the nice comments that we've gotten so far. We hope you guys will stick around for a while. We pray for peace to be with you always. God bless you and your family. This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I don't think I've covered this quote-unquote musician before. Really hate to call any of these people anything but Satanists because that's what they are, but a musician by the name of Kodak Black. I'm sure a lot of you don't know who this person is. I didn't know, although I feel like maybe I had a video covering something about this person in the past, but I can't be for sure on that. Nonetheless, it's another video where we see the satanic baptism. Now, this is where these get tricky because fans are so deceived by these musicians that they think, they show him in a Catholic mass, okay? They show him, they show the communion, the bread, and all that stuff, and they show him being baptized in red water, which looks like blood. Now, people are going to say, no, it's just the light shining. It's just, they thought it'd be more artistic to use red because, it's not suspicious enough that it looks like blood, but people will defend these musicians, as you can see on the wall underneath this guy's video, Kodak Black. They think that this is some type of worship music that's praising Jesus Christ because they use words like God. Remember, everything they do is inverted. This is what Satanists and people in the occult are taught, to invert things. They play the role and pretend to be Christians, most of the time pretending to be Catholic. We all know about the Vatican. We all know about the Catholic Mass and what its traditions are based off of. They will usually use Catholicism in a lot of these videos. Okay? But it gives the appearance to the audience that they're Christian when they're followers of Christ when they're not. They don't speak of Jesus Christ in their music. They have tattoos of crosses and stuff. Remember, the cross symbol goes back way before Christianity. I'm not saying that, if you wear a cross, or you have a cross in your home, you're a pagan or a Satanist. Of course not. Of course not. Remember, they've taken a lot of symbols, or, Catholicism and stuff has taken symbols that are pagan and satanic, and things like the Christmas tree, right? All this stuff is just, it's warped everybody's perception of what Christianity is supposed to be about. Christianity is supposed to be about Jesus Christ, about God's word, about the Bible, okay? But take a look at this. So you'll see Kodak Black. The song is called Testimony. He had two songs come out, this guy. Testimony, and then another song called Calling My Spirit. So instantly, someone who's asleep is going to think that he's referencing God, he's referencing Jesus, he's got a cross. But if you know the signs and the symbols, you'll see all of this stuff here. So let's start with the blood baptism. He's in church during a Catholic mass. He goes up to get baptized. You can see this demonic type look on the priest's face where he's like laughing that he's taking the blood baptism, right? They know that people who see this are going to think that he's just found Jesus Christ, he's being baptized. Remember, all these blood baths, whether it's a blood bath or a blood baptism, from Eminem to Machine Gun Kelly to Joji, musician after musician after musician who's showing these things, Lil Wayne in their videos of bathtubs filled with blood. This represents the satanic baptism that is to come. Again, these people are baptized in blood when they denounce Jesus Christ and accept Satan as their master. So you'll see him covered in blood. And again, people say, well, it's just water, and then the light is red because it doesn't have a thick density like blood. I mean, you really got to be stubborn not to want to believe that. But if you didn't, if you are someone who thinks that, well, then here's the icing on the cake, right? Right after he receives his blood baptism, he looks into the camera and he holds up the pyramid. No, he's not holding up the hand sign because he loves Jay-Z and Rockefeller or the professional wrestler Diamond Dallas Page, okay? Or because his favorite shape growing up was a triangle, okay? Everybody knows what the pyramid stands for. It's why it's on the back of the dollar bill with the all-seeing eye of Lucifer. So he holds up the pyramid and proceeds to hold up the 666 sign. This is after being baptized in blood, or, it's baptism in water and there's red light reflection like people say. It couldn't be more obvious with this guy. 3 days prior, Kodak Black releases a video playing Spear. You can see him in the MK Ultra, the basic leopard print, right? Always talking about it. You're always seeing it. It's not because all these people happen to be huge fans of the safari and love lions and tigers and cougars, okay? They're not because they love 40-year-old women that they're wearing this. They're wearing it because they're MK Ultra slaves, okay? Figuratively, these people have handlers who give them orders, and these musicians and artists and celebrities are all puppets for them. This symbolizes that. That's why you always see celebrities wearing this leopard, cougar-like print. So you can see him with that. And then, of course, you can see the all-seeing eye, the third eye right on his forehead. And, of course, people will say, well, he's got, the